For example, I think of a guy like Roy Campanella.
Good choice. Played catcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers back in the 1950s, and we had him on GSL.
Roy had a fantastic career.
Hall of Famer, three-time MVP, played 12 years in the Negro Leagues before joining the Dodgers, and then 10 years for Brooklyn. It was all cut short in 1958 in a terrible car accident. While he was driving home in the early morning hours of January 28, 1958, his car skidded on a wet spot, crashed into a telephone pole, and overturned, fracturing 2 of Campanella's vertebrae.
Campy was paralyzed from the shoulders down. He was confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And about a year later, the Dodgers decided they wanted to honor their catcher. So Roy Campanella night at the stadium, and 93,000 people showed up.
And that day you'll never forget, the largest crowd ever to see a baseball game, and that's still a record, Roy Campanella night in Los Angeles.
Yes, Pee-wee was pushing me out there. Our dandy captain, as I always called him, #1. No, I wasn't able to play because I was in that wheelchair. But I'll never forget that night, Paul. That is the greatest tribute ever paid to anyone, I'd say.
History repeats itself. 20 years earlier, it was Lou Gehrig, and now Roy Campanella on the receiving end of a whole lot of love.
And he learned how to cope with his handicap and find some meaning for his life. Here's what he told host Paul Hornig about his tragic accident and the aftermath.
After my accident, I had accepted my wheelchair, and being able to get around from city to city and travel as much as I did and be shown in my wheelchair, it encouraged so many other people in institutions that were paralyzed.
So here again, Murph, we see something good coming out of something rather tragic.
Yeah, he inspired a lot of people. He wrote a book called It's Good to Be Alive, which was later made into a television movie. And by the way, he's a Philly guy, so always special.
You Philly guys. I'm certain when Campy came to town, there was some Philly booze in there as well.
Well, there might have been that, but still, a native son is a native son.